lower high zone? Is it going to get rejected and then come down towards my 85K to 80K target? Which one is it going to be? And in this video, I'm going to tell you how to determine which one it'll be, and the importance of this line here being broken, mixed with the fact that this line here was touched on a 1 minute wick. And again, this line was the focus of my last public YouTube stream, my last video on YouTube. I said Bitcoin does not have permission to go to all-time highs when it crosses this line, unless it touches this line first, and it satisfied it on a 1 minute wick. Very strange. Therefore, Bitcoin has great permission to do great, big things when it gets above this line. So let's dive into those details. And at the end, there's this cheap hot alt y'all might want to check out. It's called Unicorn Fart Dust. UFD, you might want to check it out. Unicorn Fart Dust. It's super bullish. It's a hot, cheap alt. I'm just kidding. It is a real token, and it is actually pretty bullish shape. I don't give two shits about it. I'm not trying to push an altcoin on you, but I thought I would let you know that if you want to check out a bullish coin called Unicorn Fart Dust, UFD, go ahead, check it out. It's pretty damn bullish looking. And other than that, no further delay. Let's go get some Bitcoin. You ready? I wonder if that sounded bad on your end too. I don't know if my headphones are going bad, but the music did not work. It sounded all not good. All right. So let's get rid of all my draw rings. And let's go down to a smaller chart. I'm on the 4-hour chart. Right now we are staring at roughly 60 days of price history. And the rule of thumb is, if you're not in typical rule of thumb is, if you go above an established slope line, which we have, you automatically have probability to break your look left high right as you cross that. Like even this, just barely poking across, you're automatically more than 50% likely to pass this high. That's breaking this high and that one after breaking the slope line. However, from the last video, I said in this case, if it breaks above here, above this line, without touching this line, I think we're going to get sideways and it's going to touch this blue line before going up. It would have to turn into a sideways channel. It would break up, get rejected by both the high and this line, roughly around 108K. And then it would have to touch this line. Maybe not drop much lower than 96K to do so. But my thesis was this line must be hit. And the basis of my last YouTube video was the pullback of this move should be this line or this line or a wick past this line. I don't think it has permission to go much past. If it does, it's got to, I think Bitcoin, if it goes much below 85K, I think a V-shape correction within a week is exceptionally likely. There's just not much, Bitcoin doesn't have much of a hall pass right now in current status and structure to go much below 85 and stay below. So, but this has been hit. So now that sideways case, as one of my 3 cases, I don't think Bitcoin has permission to move sideways now. That is the implications. This will either break down and touch the bottom line, or it will break above here one way or another, maybe getting rejected the first time, doing it the second time. So technically, we have permission to go sideways for 2 more weeks. Technically. So I do need to backtrack on partly what I said. I said I don't think Bitcoin can go sideways from the main game plan of last time. It cannot. I don't think it can go sideways when it goes above this line. Sorry. That's what I should have said. Now that this 1/4 line has been touched. And this 1/4 line for newer folks is 2 years long. Goes back to the $15,500 low of this cycle for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's been in this channel the whole time, just using these lines as support and resistance beautifully. As you can see, get a stall at this one, use it as support, hit the next one, get rejected, use that as resistance, come down, use that as resistance, come down, touch that and bounce. Like every single line, like that's how it's moving. Very, very well established lines. So I feel very in control right now and very confident with Bitcoin price action. The only confident thing that I don't have is which will it play on here. Once it passes, I'm confident that I need to be in on crypto because Bitcoin should go to all-time highs because this line was hit and this rule will apply. It's simply statistically a good bet. After this 1 minute candle. A 1 minute candle can seriously change macro, like mid-term time frame analysis. Or once you get rejected, I think you need to touch the bottom line closer to 85 to 80K. So I don't see room for extended sideways throughout the end of January into mid-February. I don't see it. Sideways through the end of January because it gets stuck here but makes a higher low. Yeah, it's not very likely, but that is the third case. And in that case, it's still the same analysis. I don't know which way, up or down. I just know once it crosses here, it can't go sideways. I think it has to go up. And if it breaks down from here and goes below this 1/4 line, I'm going to be very confident it has to touch this line. Doesn't have to touch it at 85, and it doesn't have to bounce on it and go below it. Go all the way down to 75, V-shaped correction back up. That's all we're looking at. And I don't need to look very much right now at indicators. Really, what's more important right now, outside of just price action, what I feel is very, very important, that I did get this. So I didn't come up with this myself today, but this was from one of my VIPs on my private community in Discord. And the links to my Discord are in the description section of my videos if you wanted to check that out. And also the links to the YouTube tiers and what that's about is in the description section. Somebody mentioned that they heard on the interwebs from another analyst that if Bitcoin closes today below the daily open, that technically Bitcoin should be forced down, farther down than its previous wick. I don't know if I would go with that, but that idea given to me gave me the idea that apart from simply breaking out of this triangle, more so than indicators, the one thing that's going to help you front run or guess before it actually happens, are we breaking below that line or breaking above that line? The one thing that's going to help guide you into just having better correct probabilities is the candle shapes. And so I feel that the reason why that is not a bad analysis is because look at this candle here. This daily candle. Can you even see that? I hope you can see this wick here. Instead of just this green portion here. I hope you can see like this thing all the way down. So what happened here is, let me go down to the 15-minute time frame. I'll show you what happened. I will make you feel what happened. A unicorn fart dust coin comes farting on you as you feel this. But feel this. Feel that. Feel how violent that got? Look. That's the line I said it has to touch last stream. And that's how I did it. That's how it gets it done sometimes. So that's what happened on this wick. So now what's the significance of that? Well, because it decided to come up and close near its closure, timed almost perfectly. So a lot of times the buy pressure of Bitcoin in any moment, what I'm about to say is very important. So, and it'll help you kind of start understanding price a little bit more. I'm going to have to label this a tangent. Sorry. So a lot of intraday, a lot of this buy pressure and how much algos and big money is hitting market buy at any time, it is paced with the daily closure. The amount they're buying, pushing this up, is paced with literally the time. Like tick, tick, tick. It's almost 7 p.m. New York or 8 p.m. New York when the daily closes. Or whatever time in Europe that might be, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, Berlin, something like that. Whenever the daily candle opens or closes in your time frame. And so what happened here is the bears were completely in control. You saw that, right? You saw how scary that dipped. But the bulls undid all of that and closed it green right by the end of the day. So when these algos are doing their moves, they are taking into consideration how far away are we from literally the daily closure. And so that means at the end of that fight, technically it was a tie, right? Because it closed a doji. Like the body's this small. That means it was a battle and it ended where it started, like a tie, right? Not really. Why? Because the bears were in total control. They were winning like crazy. But when the day closed, the bulls were already in control. And it just so happened that the time ticked past the daily candle and we started a new candle. But from this point, bulls have not given up control. So the shape of this candle and the story it tells, yes, we went down really far, but at the end, the bulls won. And they are keeping their control. And so right now, because the daily closure seems extremely important, I think the trend of that might continue. And if it closes below here, that would be a weekly, it would flip the week red too. The day started right where the week started. So it would be a daily candle closure, a weekly candle, not a candle closure. It'd be a daily candle closure red if this closed red today. Also, it would turn the week red. And if today happened to turn red somehow, that would change the implication of that candle wick we just went over. That means, yes, the bulls were in control. Yes, the bulls continue control, but then they lost it. So the upcoming candle shapes are going to tell you how much in control that the bulls are keeping themselves from that low. They've been in control from it. They haven't. And so if we're getting good candle shapes up into this area, I mean, honestly, this wick and this continuation, it makes it look like Bitcoin's going to blow past it. I'm telling you, like that's what it looks like as of now. But why can't I tell you that's my main analysis? Well, first off, this candle doesn't close in how long? New viewers, if you don't know how to quickly answer that question, you need to listen up right now. Look right. We usually look left, right, on this channel, but now we're looking right. Closes in 54 minutes, 55 seconds. So if price falls, a couple, like 1,000, 1,500, that's not a great candle shape. And it's not quite as bullish, but it's still green. That means the bears were in control of this day, the end of this day. But if we keep just nice, sexy green candles, I just don't see why the bulls would give up control right in that area. It is an obstacle, but with that wick and continuation of that story, from that point, the bulls have been in control. If we touch here, I think it could be pretty explosive. And this would essentially end up being a dip and rip, which you'll see a lot in price. Where Bitcoin makes a channel, goes below it, then goes above the channel, like that. Happens all the damn time. Because the same people who sold to make that happen, they have their longs ready and already ready to go. They're selling into their longs on futures. And because they activated their longs, guess what they want to do now? They want to buy. They want those longs to go in profit. And they just freed up a bunch of money by selling Bitcoin to buy as well. So it just looks like it's a dip and rip. I'm not going to lie. However, tomorrow, though, this week, we have a lot of economic news, job reports, CPI, things to that effect. So, is it possible that Bitcoin breaks above that slope line and then bad news comes out and pulls it down for a fake out? Yeah, but I don't think it's likely. Why? Because the big money gets the information before we do. They already know how the general sentiment of the market will be. They already have the information when it will be released. If you don't think so, then you're probably naive. And so what I'm saying is, it almost looks like a lot of times you can see news before it happens, and this almost looks like a case of they're prepping their lungs for good news tomorrow. That's what it looks like to me. That is kind of voodoo analysis, I'm not going to lie. But the way it touched that line and closed that candle and got continuation going into potential news, it makes me think they took on some pretty big longs there. And it makes me think they're going to buy pretty aggressively. So, because that's more voodoo analysis, and I'm not a stock market, I analyze stock prices, but I'm not a fundamentalist. I don't stay aware of all the inner workings of the traditional finance. So because of that, the way I'm going to play this is, all right, yes, I could front run this and just go all in on crypto now, expecting it to break out. I'm not going to do that. I'm not that confident in that voodoo analysis. Off of trying to guess, they took it on a bunch of longs. All I care about is I have a game plan if this is broken to the upside, and I have a game plan if it's rejected and it comes down. Very simple. And if it gets rejected the first time, bounces, gets above the second time, same game plan as breaking above the first time. Just breaking above in general before 85K is touched. That's it. So that's all that's on my mind is this triangle right here. It's very simple. So in this triangle, no action. Outside of this triangle, I'm either in being interested in being a buyer or I'm being interested in being a seller. That's it. Well, I apologize. Technically, at the beginning of this move, you need to consider being interested as a buyer as well. I apologize. Interested as a buyer here or below this line after it takes out. Because if it goes above here, it's going to take off. Market buying, a quick buy, would be the only way to get in before it takes off. So I'm personally considering market buying altcoins in which I'm not 100% in, which is most of them. I'm only about I'm 50 to 100% in on my different alts. But in general, I think I'm close to 65% in. Because some fell into my lower limit buys more readily than others. But so the portion that I'm not filled, I need to know that there are ramifications of not acting. And that's all I'm thinking about. How Bitcoin affects my altcoins, what I need to consider when I need to consider them, or when to consider nothing in the triangle. But the significance of that wick touching that line means when it gets above here, it's pretty damn certain. Like, it's not certain, but it's good probabilities to break above that high anyway. It's over 50%. But now that it's touched that line, it's going to be even better than normal chances. Exactly when it gets above this line here, it's automatically very statistically probable to take out that high. But it's not above it yet, so I'm not taking action. All right. So that's how I'm viewing Bitcoin price. That's how I plan to react. If you're new to my channel, you like what you see so far, give it a thumbs up if you like. Feel free to share the link with friends. I have nice clean charts, so newer folks can typically, follow along pretty easily. And here we go. So I will rock and roll with Lost Liberty Super Chat. Then I got to answer a couple quick questions from my my technical analysis, the middle tier of my YouTube private community. I had a couple of questions I didn't get to, so I will cover them after this one. So Lost Liberty is asking, can you share your thoughts on Telcoin chart? Yeah. Yeah, Telcoin, I mean, I mapped this out for somebody who really wanted to buy in the bear market. So what you're about to see, I made before price was in a bear market. All right? Well, it might have been in a bear market without me knowing we're in a bear market. So very, like, just after the top. It might have been just after the top, technically. But before I knew we were in a bear market. So very important context before you see this chart. If you've already seen it, then, you know, the buildup is for everybody else. So one of my VIPs at that time wanted to know, hey, how do I know when it's a good price to buy? And I said, well, if we simply make origin lines like into a rainbow, you buy when it's deep red. You buy blood. That's it. So whenever it's in the red, that's when you're buying. And I made that game plan with this chart with him way back here. And look how it's worked out. So it's technically still in the red. It's in the last one. But, I mean, you see how it just goes from one, hesitates at the next one, hesitate. I mean, just look at this. Like, watch, just watch this. Watch how price interacts with these lines, either sniffing its butt from the bottom and slowing down, or going above it and pausing on it, the opposite. Watch. See it bounce right at that line, get rejected right at that line, bounce at that line again, get above, try to use this as support, can't hold it, got to touch this line now before you try again. Now it can try to get above this line. All right. I mean, it's technically in a macro sense still in a buy zone. It's in the red orange, dark orange. So you've missed out on a little bit of the gains, but it's only a 4x above the bottom. That's not horrible. I don't think it's too late to, you know, to make a move on this one. Now, would I expect it to get all the way up to the top line? No. The second bull market, you don't do that. Honestly, second bull markets, you usually don't even hit all-time highs. Telcoin looks like it'll take out its all-time high just by a little bit, so I think it's going to be a failure pattern above, maybe as high as a quarter. So 1 quarter is my target for Telcoin if we have a 4-year cycle. So from current price, I mean, that'd be a big-ass move. I mean, that's over a 40x from current price. That's after a 3x. So that would be 120x off this low, right? No, that'd be a 200x. So honestly, a quarter is pretty ambitious. That might be too high. See, and that's only the middle of the bullish price last time. So I think a quarter's too high. Like, I don't think it can do a 200x off those lows. I don't know about that. But I would not be surprised if that were to hit, because structurally that's where it should. It should hit a quarter. But I think the market cap will start preventing it from getting up there. So what'd you want to know about Telcoin? Just my thoughts. Okay. Yeah, those are my thoughts on the Telcoin chart. I think 14 cents is another good target. From current price, that's a 25x almost exactly. I think that's pretty damn realistic. I think 13 is a good target for this. 25 if things really get like very fantastic for Telcoin and their marketing's good and all that, but I think $14 or 14 cents is a very, very good target. All right, and then what are my thoughts on Tau? So on this though, Lost Liberty, if you're not in it, you're trying to get in it, just realize if you were to just like, I have $10,000, he said 25x, like, let's go. Well, just wait a sec, because if you're not in it at all, crypto loves to hit 45-degree angles for higher lows. So if I take this, same thing I drew, and I put it there, I bet you it hits there. From that point to that point, watch. It just likes hitting the same angles. See that? And if I do it on another one, on a bullish move though, it'll probably be almost the same angle. Okay, watch. So from here to this higher low, like that. Watch. It just moves the same way. So, that's actually the right angle, so I want to keep it. So if you chase this bad boy now, it can come down 45% and still be making a bullish move into a higher low. That's the scare. So that is the bummer about trying to get something as YouTubers are talking about it, because it just got the all-time, it just got on the top movers. Yeah, but if you get in after YouTubers are pushing this crap, after a 5x or sometimes after a 50x. I remember I saw the biggest YouTubers last year after Harmony One had its, no, Theta had a big like insta run last bull run. Is it Theta? On its biggest portion, and after that move is when YouTubers started talking about it, and just most people bought like after the move already happened, and it's just bad. Like it was ridiculous. And so, but the reason why it's bad, because it was a big cap they were talking about, and it gets more views, hurts more people. So this is why that type of stuff, YouTubers talking about stuff after they get on the top gainers list, and then their members buy it, and it goes up. That means it falls down even farther into a bullish higher low. So chasing stuff like this, whether a YouTuber talked about it or not, it's tricky, because yes, this might not be the high from which it pulls down as it touch here. It might go like this. It might go boom, but boom, but boom, and then hit it. That could happen. But this line will be hit. That is a guarantee. The only way that is not that guarantee can't work out is if this buddy gets delisted and it goes away. But that is a guarantee unless that happens. Unless this crypto disappears, it gets delisted. Yeah. All right. It's tough to enter this, I'm not going to lie, because both of those could easily happen. This could be the first of 3 pushes, because crypto loves going in 3 pushes, but crypto loves 45-degree angles after a big move. It's tough, and this is actually the nature of a lot of the things we were covering on my VIP Discord and YouTube tiers. Exclusive YouTube tier, I guess it's a different name, but today most of the coins, it was over half, and I was going through with them. I can't do this. I can't give you the same content necessarily, but this is a super chat, but I'll get kind of close. The whole idea was, hey, these are both very likely situations. Bitcoin is not above its slope line. So if it's not going to come down to here, we're going to know soon, because Bitcoin's charging up towards that line. So why don't I just don't guess it's going to go up? Only guess that confidently if Bitcoin breaks above its slope line from the beginning of the stream, and the huge importance of that. And just assume 45-degree angle until Bitcoin breaks above. And then once that happens, then I go into chase this mode, chase this with market buys mode. That's how I would do this. Or on those live chats, I was going in to the percentage. You can mix it. You could you could front run Bitcoin breaking above that with getting it. If you're 0% in, that's fine to get 10 to 25% in now. If you're 0% in, because Bitcoin looks like it's going to dip and rip. I mean, it looks pretty bullish. It really does. So it's okay to technically front run. But if you're 80% in looking to complete your last purchase, I don't think chasing right now or front running would be a good idea. So, but most of this is the significance, like trying to get an entry here based off it could hit here or it could do a 3 pushes before touching that line. It's all based off Bitcoin analysis. Bitcoin is below that line. So breaking up in a market buying now is not supported by Bitcoin. That decision is not supported by Bitcoin price, and altcoins are affected by Bitcoin price. So it kind of answers that for you, but that's where I'm going with this full circle on how to decide to enter. Use Bitcoin price to guide you and percentages. So use Bitcoin price to guide you and use the idea that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can mix it. You can do some now, some limit buys later, and just hold flat for some, just in case whatever happens, you can market buy. You can get 50. An aggressive thing would be to get half in now, and then half in lower if Bitcoin gets rejected, or half in once Bitcoin breaks above. If you are at 0% in, for example, I could see myself being aggressive if I were 0% in, and Bitcoin might dip and rip here. I would consider that, but not if I'm already 50% in. I wouldn't go from 50 to 100 on this move. That's all I got for that one. Yeah, I hope I gave you what you're looking for on Telcoin. All right, now we're going to Tau. See how it bounced from my green triangle? I put that triangle there before it bounced. It's the opposite of a red triangle. Red triangles are resistance. Green triangles are support. Let's see. I don't know what it's trying to do. It's trying to determine whether or not to go test $368 again or not. That's what it's trying to do. I can tell you that right now. Because you remember the story on Bitcoin about the wick? Yes, even though this closed red, the bulls were in control at the end. When this closed here, the bulls had taken it from here, charged up right then and it closed as they were in control. But the next candle, no continuation. So the bulls are not in control anymore. That's why it looks... So if Bitcoin takes its sweet ass time to get... Which it might. It technically could go sideways for 12 days before it being forced to make a choice. Like it'll be forced. It'll have to get volatile within 2 weeks. But in that meantime, if this keeps losing versus Bitcoin, it could easily go down 12% on a Bitcoin, like just a 1% up and down day, or 2 days of flat on Bitcoin. This could easily hit that line. Or what this might be. But because of this candle, it's going to do one of these two things, I'm telling you. So either that or lower as one thing, 368 or lower as one, or on the micro time frame, so like the 1 hour, or it can't get above that obstacle on the first try, and it needs a higher low on this chart. So what I would do on this is your trigger. If you go below this, you're condemned to 368. Like, it's just probable. Like, literally, it's the exact opposite of what the analysis on Bitcoin. If you go above the slope line, that is downside. You're, that looks like this, you're going up, for example, like this. Okay, so if you break above here, then you're condemned to go up on Bitcoin, for example. So I would draw a 45, it's not actually 45. I think it's actually like 23 and a half or some crap, but on average. And if you don't know which angle, what you can do is just go like this. Take a few, see how it, like, look how it went from low to low. Like, I just know the angle. I don't know. Well, I do know why. I've been doing this for 7 years. I've been doing this a long time. So I can just tell. I don't know how. I mean, maybe that's why I'm a content creator, because I got a knack for this shit. So this one over here looks like it went slower, though. So that should be a less steep slope. See that? So technically, it could be like this. Anywhere, that would be a deeper, higher low. So this chart has a history of making higher lows at that angle. So that's how I would do this. I'm still okay. Like, it's still probably trying to get a higher low to attack 430 obstacle. But it went up a little too fast on the micro time frames. Needs a 45-degree higher low to get above. One of those two things is happening. Most likely. One way that could easily be wrong is if Bitcoin goes above that line tomorrow. That would not give this time to hit, potentially, because there's news tomorrow. And the stock market goes up, Bitcoin goes up. This would not hit that target. It would go up without it. So just a heads up, this is a great thing to do always. Always. So I'm not throwing cold water on my projector tools for higher lows and lower highs. I strongly suggest you use them. But in this case, we are pretty ripe for an exception for the rule to happen, because if stocks go up off of news, they're probably going to pull up Bitcoin, and Bitcoin would probably pull up this, and we are expecting big traditional finance news this week. All right. And then this did come out in the bear market. Wow. Okay. Wow, this has done well. Yeah, the 10x in an early bull market. That's pretty strong. That's actually really, really, really good. That's a 10x. I say 10x. Oh, this isn't the full chart. It just made equal highs. Okay. Well, so it doesn't include this down here, but I guess I'm okay without that. It's already in the top 50, so it's the 41st biggest crypto. That means automatically it doesn't have a lot of upside ROI potential just because it's a huge coin. I mean, I think in general, when you're halfway through the bull market, which we might not be halfway through yet, the Bitcoin dominance chart says we're only like 10% into the bull market, which is awesome. But it also means if that doesn't activate, we're not getting a bull market. So there's good and bad to the Bitcoin dominance chart. But if we get a normal 4-year bull market, I mean, with this size of this coin, I mean, from current price, I mean, I wouldn't expect a whole lot more than a 10x, because it, just like Bitcoin doesn't go up 100x in a bull market anymore like it did from the bottom of 2015 to 2017. That was almost exactly 100. It was slightly more than 100x. $186 to 20K. But the bull market after that, it was 21x from bottom to top, right? So a 5 times difference from 100x to 20. Why? Because it's bigger market cap. It's harder to move. It takes more to push it. Like, it's harder to push over a bigger person. Literally physics, like seriously physics from the real world, is why this will have trouble doing much more than a 10x from current price. If we're in a 4-year cycle, I know roughly how much time is left. So I think in general, I would not have aspirations of this going much above $4,500. If I saw this hit $4,500, and it were close to September or later, I would probably be I would be interested in being a seller. Okay, so I got the super chats done. I'm going to go on to the VIP exclusive tier questions I didn't get to. Somebody wanted to see AAVE. And even if you don't care about AAVE, what AAVE's doing in its price chart is what some of your altcoins are going to do or are already doing now. And my analysis of AAVE is going to help you on probably one or more of your altcoins, as long as you're into more than one. But wow, that looks pretty nice. So this is what almost all altcoins that come out at the end of a bull market should do. So this is the 64K top. It came out before it, yes, but coins that start here, they almost all make the same shape, and they almost all touch the opening price. Literally, like it's every time. It's almost every time. So if you got coins born in a bear market who are way down here, and it's 50x to get to all-time highs, that means if it's a small cap, it's probably going to 50x if it's a 4-year cycle. They almost all have the tendency to do it. I'm trying to tell you. And I call those black hole plays. Without this portion here, without this bullet, it started here. None of this exists. And they're like down here right now. Like those are the types of coins, but this is the perfect shape. And this is how altcoins born in a bear market usually, but even though this one's so beautiful, it's usually not this tight. That's what she said. But like that's in a tight range. So this is almost like too good. And don't expect the shape. It's usually more like this, but it's jagged. It usually looks more like that. Like kind of regular during the bear market, then jagged, and then it starts. So this one is like hyper regular. It eats its fiber. But if you're altcoin hunting, if you look for things that were born in the bear market, doesn't have to be right at the top. It could have been born in 2023 and still went down 95%. But they usually touch the opening price, like almost all of them. There are a few out there where it's like a $200 draw up to hit that, or 200x. So those ones probably won't work, but that's just how they almost work. So heads up. Anyway, and this is the epitome of that shape. Like this shape is almost too good of an example. Okay, AAVE. So your next move is to this. Like that is where it's trying to go. It is trying to hit this box. It is committed to this box. I don't really see a breakdown of this shape until that box is hit. So I don't see it going below this white line until that box is hit. So I don't think it can go below. Well, I don't think it will. Yeah. So I would try to draw this and draw this horizontal. It should stay above that white line until going above. But if I draw, I bet Bitcoin could go down to 80K and that'll still be hitting it. Watch. That looks like it's 40% to me. Look at that, 38.77. So if Bitcoin tanks here, you know where to pick this sucker up. That would be a nice scoop. It is getting a little far away from the line. So what I see this doing is I see it coming up, getting rejected, going sideways, touching, and then, so yeah, I think it's going to touch the horizontal, then the white line, then break above the horizontal. That's what it looks like it's going to happen. But I do think because the last time this touched was August, I don't think that this touch, being the last touch, can support it staying above this line. I don't think it can do this until it touches that line one more time. So yes, it can go above, but I think it'll fail your pattern back to touch that and then go. I don't think it can get above and stay above with this being the last support on that line. And in a bull market, this is my projector tool for coins that are going parabolic. So this is the same thing as that angle, but for coins that are making U-shapes. It works the same way. Use it as the same rules. That's where the higher lows go. That's just how they move in bull markets. They don't move that way in bear markets. They don't move that way in sideways markets. What did this do in Bitcoin sideways market? It went sideways for 2 years, 800 days. So, I mean, so now we're in a bull market. We're in parabolic stuff. That's what we're doing. And that's how you use that line. But use it the same as a projector tool. It tells you where higher lows are going to go with pretty high predictability and pretty high accuracy. Yeah, so I personally would be a seller between 550 and probably as high, in case it did a normal failure pattern above, like this, I would be a seller. Yep, I would be a seller between 550 and 900. I wouldn't necessarily sell all of my AAVE in that area, but if it doesn't touch this line again and it goes there, I would probably probably 50 bag, which means I would have for sale 50% of all my AAVE between 550 and 900 or so. Just split up into a whole bunch of limit cells up in there. That's how I would roll with that one. That was a really easy read. Like, price really should move that way. Cannot sustain above all-time highs of 680 until it hits that white line. All right. And then good to buy now was the question. I think good to go from 0% in to maybe as high as 50. Yeah. But if I were 50% in, I wouldn't get more than 75 total percent in today because Bitcoin's not above that slope line. Hell, this isn't even above its slope line. Let's zoom into this bad boy. Look. All right. So these two wicks right here make the correct slope because all of these hit the same slope. So it's trying to pass that one now. It's getting ready to race up into this line. So, I mean, honestly, yeah, it's getting ready to, because look, it's getting ready to hit this and accelerate. So see how it connects to resistance, 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 resistance. It's going to break above and quickly go here. That's 11% move. So if somebody market bought now, I mean, hell, you could put your stops at where you entered because it's so close to triggering a fast move up. It's really, really close. It depends on how much you're in. If I were 0% in, I could see myself going aggressively and getting half in now and using half in case Bitcoin fails. I would wait, try to buy when Bitcoin's closer to 80 to 85K with the second half. That would be as aggressive as I would try, though. I would not try more aggressively. I could see even going from 0% in to a 0.25% in. I think it'd be reasonable to go from 1/3 to 2/3 in. That's reasonable, too. Just depends on how much you got and on a percentage basis of what you want. But that's how this sucker's moving. Oh, and then I guess there was Pyth as well. Sorry. Okay, so Pyth. I don't even know about Pyth. I don't give two shits about it personally, but the way it moves is going to be how your altcoins move at one point or another, or is already in this exact moment how it's moving now. Oh, that's not good. Born in the bear market, I think. It's a big cap. It's on page 1. It was born at a valuation of $500 million. So when this snapped into existence and its first coin was bought or sold on the exchange, this company was already worth $500 million. So there's not a lot of ROI baked in because it started off with a pretty high valuation. This isn't gonna 100x. Could it hit 50 billion in its first bull market? Maybe. But it's just highly, highly unlikely. It just requires that much more money to be in crypto. All right, so that's the market cap. That's price, sorry. So the market cap going up while price went down, look, that's bad. So new viewers, what I'm about ready to tell you is extremely important. If your coin's founders are lying to you about tokenomics, very important. Now I'm not picking on Pyth. I'm using CoinMarketCap as a tool, but just as an example. If you go to all, click all first. If you see how it says price up here, click look at this first. See down, generally down. Now watch. If you click market cap, and since it's been going down right here, I'll keep my hand here. If it goes up after this point, that means they were printing tokens only. Uh-oh. That's the only way that can happen. So right here, what was this? Price was going down. They probably doubled the amount of tokens in circulation. Why do I know this? Because market cap equals price times the amount of coins circulating in existence. So if price is going down and market cap going up, there are only two things multiplied into each other to make market cap: price and the number of coins in existence floating around. So if this one's going down, but what they equal is going up, that means this number is going way up. That's all it means. Market cap equals price times circulating coins. So that now, is that bad? No. They have overhead. They got to pay their employees, and they don't make money yet. I don't think they're selling anything. I don't think they have revenue or yet let alone speak of profit. A lot of cryptos have some revenue but are not profitable. Like Cardano, for example, has a very small amount of revenue for being like $30 billion valuation. It's like the worst revenue divided by market capitalization out of all like entities in the world. Cardano is so overvalued. It is so bad. But most cryptos are, besides Bitcoin. Anyway, when you take revenue divided by market cap. And that's a real thing on Investopedia. I don't know what it's called, but I think it might be called revenue to market cap ratio. Okay. So if you see this, and in the tokenomics section of your coin, they're saying, yeah, we haven't printed any tokens, like we have a distribution, but you see this on CoinMarketCap, that means they're lying. And you're going to get screwed, and your price targets that you think that price could hit cannot be hit because the market cap's already too high, and it's harder to get to those price levels than what you're thinking. So by the time it gets up here to all-time highs now, because they at least doubled their tokens, it looks like the market cap will be twice as high. So let's say the market cap was 1 billion here. The next time it hits there, it will be 2 billion at the same price. 2 billion market cap. All right. So not only is it a big cap, it's not going to have the best, or not as good as general ROI as a mid cap or small cap, just by nature. That's true for all big caps. But you are dealing with an inflation standpoint. Like this left side of the chart and right side, like you have a chasm here. Tokens existed here that didn't exist here, so this is a little different, right? All right. harder to get to these levels. So, with that said, when it gets to all-time highs, which is only 3.5x away, 4-year cycle, you hit this line here, maybe even this one. No, let's say this one. It's a 10x and an 8x or so, 9.5x, 11x. Those look reasonable. So, I think this one's going to have real trouble doing anything big. I mean, 750 is as high as what I could possibly expect it to go. Once it's at 360 or whatever, would I have hopes for it to hit 750? I mean, not as much hopes like as to not sell anything. And at 280. So these are the areas in which, you know, somebody would probably actually here, sorry. 260. I mean, those are my 4 targets for bull market. And that's only if it is a 4-year cycle. Those targets are too high if we end the cycle too early. So this is the 4-year cycle line. That's where it ends, October, November. And these are lines that it should easily be able to hit. So if it's hitting those lines at that time, that is what the price will be. That simple. Those are my guesses. So I think on the low end from current price, this has an 8.5x. On the very high end, 23x. We'll see how my targets do. My targets usually are pretty good, though. I guess 16.4 for Bitcoin low and 1880 for Ethereum low as the bear market just got started. Bitcoin hit 1550 and Ethereum hit $10 away from my low guess. So my low guesses are pretty good. My top guesses are usually pretty good. But yeah, that's what I got for this one. Here we go. So yes, UFD. I know. Unicorn fart dust. Okay, let's look at it. No, it actually is. That's right. I said at the end, right? Unicorn fart dust. Like, it's actually really bullish looking. Like, super. I mean, it is on a breakout after confirming a breakout, essentially. Like, this is the neckline. I think this is just for just shits and giggles at this point. Like, this is the neckline. It tested it, went above it, used it as support, confirmed it, and is breaking out over the local high. Like, it looks like this is going to hit. I mean, it looks like it's going to hit 55 cents plus. Unicorn fart dust coin. Unicorn fart dust coin. Like, this is a very bullish shape. It wasn't bullish, here, though, not too bullish. Yeah, this looks really good. Yeah, I think it's going to easily break above this line and hit the next for 55 to $60. but that would require Bitcoin also breaking above its 45-degree slope. I could also see this just banging its head on here as Bitcoin makes its choice. Then if Bitcoin gets rejected, this could come down. So this could just simply bang its head on this for a week and a half. Bitcoin gets rejected, then it comes down and hits 16 cents. That would be my second price path. First price path, Bitcoin breaks up. This goes to 55.60. Second price path, Bitcoin hangs out for a little bit. This bangs its head, then it hits 15 to 16 cents. Or if bad news comes out tomorrow, I think you're gonna be condemned to 18 cents minimum. If Bitcoin goes down tomorrow off of the traditional finance news, this one will not have much of a chance to bounce till 18 cents. And that's Unicorn Fart Dust coin, the most important coin out there. Why are you all even interested in Bitcoin at this point if you have Unicorn Fart Dust? All right, let me see if I missed any questions that interest me. They all interest me. I just don't have the time. I'm being facetious. All right, so Darlene Bell, if you're still on here, I like your question. I like questions about selling, people with a selling mentality, looking to sell. It's going to be a big oh yeah, so if you have doubled your money and you know there's going to be a token release, I mean, usually it's a pretty good idea to, oh shit, you've doubled your money and it's going down. I mean, yeah, because people are front running it already. So I think it's come to here. Yeah. I think I would salvage my profit from going down 50% more. Yeah, I think if this does have a big token release, I could easily see it not bouncing until this point here, 67 cents. Token releases can be brutal. And the move often gets exaggerated. So I think, yeah, waiting that one out or taking profit and just honestly looking for something that's better postured, that looks more like this, something like that, and it's challenging its look left highs. But this has got a month of establishing an aggressive downtrend, so I don't know. I don't like the looks of it. So yeah, I think being interested in being a seller, even though price is going down, is probably not a bad idea if there is indeed a token unlock or whatever they're going to call it. Dogecoin 2.0. All right, looking for an entry on VET. If Bitcoin hits 85, where would VET be and what would bull run targets be? Okay, but Bitcoin might not hit 85. That's the thing. It's my favorite target still, but man, the price action makes it look like it's a done deal that it's going to be a dip and rip, but it could be a fake. It could be a fake out. So we'll see. A fake out of a fake out, essentially. A fake out. So it was a real out, not a fake out. Right, you said VET? VET. Man, it's getting colder outside. It is 9 degrees Fahrenheit where I am. Son of a bitch. Celsius? What is that, like 15 below? 12.7. Damn. Yeah, that's that's we're 13 degrees below zero in Celsius, 9 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Ooh, what got delisted? Phantom. What? What? I'll have to check that out later. That could be serious. Okay. All right, so I already got bull market targets. I think a very aggressive target is $4. I don't think that's my favorite target, but it is an aggressive target, but it's a real target. The reason why is the entire bull market, the most bullish price action, used this area as support, and it began its bull market by using this line as resistance. So I think it could. So since that was bull market support, I think it could be bull market resistance. It just would be natural for the chart. Would it be natural for such a big cap to go up that much? 44? I don't know, actually. Let me double check. That would make it 130 billion market cap. Ooh. So it is pretty aggressive. Like, that's not super realistic, but it could happen. If EET does very well, $2 is on the table. I would give it slightly less than 10% chance of that happening. Next, non-dotted line down. Yeah, I think between 65 cents and $2 is your bull market target. If it's a 4-year cycle and we have an altcoin season. We might get a 4-year cycle with no altcoin season because of how Bitcoin dominance chart is shaping up. But that chart also means the other interpretation of Bitcoin dominance chart is that the altcoin market actually hasn't even started yet, and we haven't even seen altcoins begin, like mid caps and small caps. Like, it hasn't even started. Oh, it's so exciting. But that's the reward. So increased reward, which we have with Bitcoin dominance, and the meaning, what it means for the cycle. The increased risk is that we don't have. Here, I'll just show you. Hey Tim, why are you talking about shit you're not even showing us? What's wrong with you? I don't know. You should just tell me that. Type it up. Tell what's wrong with you. BTC dominance. All right, so Bitcoin dominance is my favorite chart in crypto as of now. My favorite chart in crypto changes, sometimes week by week, sometimes month by month, but this has been my favorite for a few weeks now. And as you can see here, Bitcoin dominance has spent its entire life in this triangle, never outside of it until when? Now. So knowing that bull markets are when it drops from the top, that's the beginning of the 27, that's February of 2017, where it drops from the top is the beginning of the bull market. That is January of 2021. This is the 64K top right here. On that higher low, that's the 64K top. Bitcoin was racing up in its first big move to 20K then, and altcoins were not following. Therefore, Bitcoin dominance increased. And then once Bitcoin passed its all-time high, altcoins flew. Bitcoin passed its all-time highs already. Altcoins haven't flown. So it's above the line from where it fell. So this chart literally means either we're getting no altcoin season, like it's going to be a light one, and it's not like this. It's not going to be an all in unison. Yes, you're going to have 100 cryptos do well, but you're not going to get 5,000 coins doing well all at once. That is one main interpretation, and that is one of the things that has to happen because of this chart. I'm telling you. Like, it means that is one of the locked in main possibilities. It seriously means that. Another possibility that it means, outside of canceling altcoin season, is that it's the exact opposite. Altcoin season hasn't begun. We don't know which one will be true until we see how it behaves when it touches this red line and maybe goes below. If it touches it, then goes up to new highs, altcoin season's effing canceled. I'm telling you, like, I would just dump my altcoins because they're not going to do anything besides bleed. Even if it's not the 4-year cycle, I don't care. Like, if Bitcoin dominance hits this line and goes to new highs, I'm done. Like, I'm done with altcoins for this 4-year season. And if that were to happen, the only way for Bitcoin dominance really to realistically go up, because it can't go up like this by outpacing altcoins anymore. It's too far in the cycle. The only way for this dominance to go up is if Bitcoin outperforms altcoins by crashing it, and it crashes less than altcoins, therefore outperforms them and goes up. This chart goes up in 2 ways and down only in 1 way. It goes up from Bitcoin crashes because Bitcoin outperforms alts. So outperforming alts means goes up, or a BTC-led rally. Like I said earlier, this was when Bitcoin, going up to that red line, was when Bitcoin was racing up to its all-time high, leaving alts in the dust. It was not an altcoin season yet. That was. Or a BTC-led rally, which we're too far in the bull market to have. So where you can't get a BTC-led rally anymore, if I can speak English. Well, did I even say a word there? It's like Boomhauer off of, if you've ever seen King of the Hill. And I'm stone sober. But I don't think this chart can go up because of the second way. I think it can only happen because of the first way. Does that make sense? We're too far along in the altcoin, like in the cycle, for BTC-led rallies, in my opinion. And Bitcoin dominance can only go down when price is going up. So whenever this chart is going down, that means Bitcoin is actually going up. It's just going up more slowly than altcoins. So that's why this chart has those. And if you're new and you didn't know this stuff, go ahead and hit thumbs up. That's when you might want to share a link to this video with friends who might want to help form expectations for their crypto. Yeah, that's a nice breakdown. I mean, hopefully gave you good visuals and you understand the significance. You need this chart to go below here, or alt season's not happening. I'm telling you, that's what that line means. Your altcoin season is canceled line. I might make a video just about this. And so that's why this is my favorite chart. It is showing me, it is giving me the keys to the castle in order to figure out, well, which one's going to happen. Can I guess now? No, I don't need to. I'll just wait. Wait till it touches that line. This line will tell me. If it goes below it and gets rejected by it and goes down more, alt season's on. Good. I don't need to guess. And if it bounces, so look how it already bounced. Like, if we take out this high, I mean, technically it's not February yet, but that's not a good thing. Okay, if it does it on the first try, I don't think I'd be out. I'd give alts one more attempt because it is just around the new year, and I might make an exception to that. But if it were to trickle down anymore and then do it, I would be like later in the year, closer to the end of the 4-year cycle, I'm out. It looks like it's getting ready to make new highs. Look at this chart. It's technically still under this line. So it's not there yet. So this has a slope line too, and it should accelerate when it gets above that line, which it's trying to do right now. I mean, this is like getting above that line is not good for alts. It's not good, whether Bitcoin's going up or not. Because this goes up in 2 ways, 2 situations. All right. That is the importance of Bitcoin dominance chart and why it is my favorite chart in all of crypto. With that, I started my day job at 5:30 a.m. So I've been rolling for, 13 and a half hours or so. I think I'm pooped for the day. So I'm going to call this a day, everybody. Hey, okay, Crow, you're gonna, damn it. All right, we'll get your super chat. Jeez. But I'm gonna call it a day after this one, and so we'll look at GFI, and I'll let you know if it's a common crypto shape, so you can know whether to try to remember this analysis for your own altcoins or not. Okay, so it was born just after the 69K top. 99% down, which is not uncommon. Cardano went 98.7, its first bear market. 21x exactly up. So from a 20x, if that is your local high, which it was, it confirmed a local high like way back here. So right when it took out that higher low. So in this exact moment, because it went down a little bit, that's fine. It still isn't considered a lower, like its local high. It made a lower high, then took this out. So when it went below here, after confirming that lower high to that high, in this exact moment, going below here, very important for you to remember, that is confirmed the local top. And if you go 20x up, even though there might be a slight, it's not technically straight up. How far did this looks like it corrected 50%. It was close. You should, so from 20x, you should have to correct 82%, 82 to 85. But because this corrected in the middle slightly, it might only need to do like 78%. And so when I draw this projector tool and I draw down just a flat 78, I now know that this line will be hit at some time in the future. It is not a question of if, it is a question of when. Will it go up first before hitting it or not? But because I already know this is a local top, and I know that crypto loves higher lows in the exact same angle, I can measure down, let's say 78%. Did it already do that? Nope, it's only done 62. 78%. It's this line here. So I think it'll hit this line exactly as it's crossing through there. That is my guess. And so now, timing the market, silly, right? It's hard to do because it's just not very accurate. So I wouldn't use this analysis on time. Yeah, the projector tool and the horizontal and all that stuff, like, oh, I'm doing magic and it's got to hit there exactly. It works out a lot. So I'm not saying I think it's exactly going to hit there. Do I think hitting exactly there in that white spot is pretty likely? Yeah, I do actually. But it doesn't, but the way I would use this, okay, the rule of thumb, you went 20x, you got to correct 80%, period. After you confirm you have a local top, you have to. Like, that's just the way crypto moves. The only tricky part about that rule of thumb is confirming a local top. That's the only hard part. After it's confirmed, it's over. Like, I really don't know if there are that many exceptions. Bitcoin going up tomorrow off of good news, yeah, that would create an exception. I mean, exceptions obviously have to happen, but it seems locked in to touch this line. I'm telling you. The way I would utilize this is a mental cue. I would expect this to not take out this high until this line. How much time is that? I'm probably, wow, that's 120 days. That could have ruined its bull market. It might have just ruined its bull market with that. Here is why I'm being kind of harsh on this. Watch. I have evidence for this. Watch. Yeah, that literally might have ruined the entire bull market. But I'll show you why. And if you don't like my reason why, then you don't like my analysis, and that's fine. But you need to know my reason why. Okay, so watch this. See all that downside price action? Born in a bear market near the 69K top, went up. Okay, watch. All that time going down, right? Boom! Went up really fast. Now stop. How long do you think it takes to recover from something like that? Look, from that point, it only did a 7.25x, 7.25x. Look at the ramifications. Hell, I'll go to the 2-day chart so it speeds up. Okay, so it's 7.25. Now watch. It's still going sideways and down. How many days is that? What does that say? 393 from doing a 7.5, not even a 7.5x. Look at what it did to its price. Now, is this at a good buy point? It actually is. I mean, this actually looks like a juicy entry to me. I think. Wow. I mean, that's kind of hard not to be a buyer there. Your second confirmed higher low exactly at the bottom of the chart. Exactly on the support of this that you couldn't break above. This is a pretty big buy. Wow. I didn't even mean to find this. This is yeah, because it's what it's doing here. It's hitting a major angle here and a major angle here exactly when they cross. Like that's why I guess timing the market sometimes. Like this shit is voodoo, but I'm telling you, man, like it's just where shit crosses. That's why I made this guess over here. What was the other one that I was talking about? GFI. Now watch, back to GFI. Man, movers in a juicy ass. That is a really good regional / macro entry. That's pretty juicy. But anyway, back to GFI. Oh, wait, it already touched that line. Oh, fuck. I had it on replay already. So it already did hit my target. I'm sorry. I came on here with the replay over here, and this was August. I apologize. It already hit my target. Fantastic. Okay. Well, it was right. And did it hit that line? It did. Look at that. So when I was on, that is crazy. That's awesome how that happened. You saw that, right? I did not know it actually went there. We were like this, right? Or no. Or no, I rewound it, didn't I? I'm being a dumbass now. Did I? I can't even remember anymore after watching Mover. Yeah, I don't like I could have sworn I put this there without knowing it actually hit, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I rewinded it when I was on this chart. I don't know. Yeah, it's just when two lines cross, important lines. I mean, price loves to go there. I don't know why. You don't. This is not good for this price. You're supposed to bounce there. Okay, so what it's going to do to make up for not bouncing there is it's going to try to hold on to the horizontal between that wick. Between that wick and that wick. And you're going to want to draw the middle of it, the point of control. It's going to fish around between those two areas of interest. I mean, that's just what it has to do at this point. And so what you'll want to do is draw a normal box, but then a rotated rectangle box. And you want to make it the exact same size. So I took a rotated rectangle. See, I can make it move like this. I make it the exact same size. And then crunch it down to the middle. And there you get the middle exactly. And so the top of it, of this, is roughly at $1.85. And the bottom of this is roughly at 80 cents. And so it's got to bang around these lines. It could easily hit this line. It might just bounce on this line, get rejected, then go down. But because it went below this 45-degree angle and did not bounce where it was supposed to, now this is going to become resistance. And so when you get above this line, you have more of a challenge to break up. Does that make sense? So this line came into existence as support, but now it becomes a nuisance. So that's why this is just not good. You don't want to see this, honestly. And this could be the resistance line the entire rest of the bear market. It might get trapped under that line. Like, as unfortunate as that sounds, I don't think that'll happen. That's an extreme case. But at first, it's going to be rough. It's going to be resistance, I mean. Yeah, I think it needs to put time in this box. A lot of focus time on this point of control. I think it's got to bang around touching that line for a bit. Because it didn't hit your 45-degree angle and bounce. There are consequences for your actions. And since you didn't bounce here, you got some time out. And I think it's got to put in some sideways. And then in the end, it might look like this. Ta-da! So it forms a cup and handle because it uses that as resistance first. Comes back, uses that wick as support like that. And takes off. So this would be my guess. It's going to have to put in some time down there, thus turn into a U shape. That would take, honestly, that would take all bull market. Is this a big cap? This doesn't make sense if it's not a big cap. It is not. No, that is not. Right, sorry. That's not the way it'll move. I apologize. It doesn't have time to move like that. So yes, this would be my guess if we're going into a sideways market, but Bitcoin is potentially going to go parabolic with altcoins. So I don't like that shape as much. Hold on, I got to think now. If it doesn't have time to do that, it is a small cap. It needs to attack 590 and land on this line. Okay, here's what I would say. I would say with this coin, I would be very, very concerned about it if it doesn't get back above this line. I would literally connect this bottom with the recent wick of October. And if you get back above there, yes, like you definitely have the potential to hit this, 30x target of $44, which is the target. It came out in the bear market. It should do this. It should at least hit that point. But if you're below that line, so this is your guidance on whether 44 is a reasonable target or not. If it stays on this line and that's the 4-year cycle right here, that's November, it's actually only at $6. So even if it's bouncing on it, it's still not going to make it. But right now it's below it. So it's not even close to being on pace to hitting there. Because if it's bouncing on here, the 4-year cycle ends, it's at 6. This is where it ends. So this one's in rough shape. I'm not going to lie. I don't like it until it's above that line again. Because it can't accelerate until it's above it. Yeah, I don't like it until it's above that line. All right. I'm going to rewatch that portion of this video to see if my dumbass did like see all of price and I put this there as price was here and I just forgot somehow when I went to move her. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, you said that. You think it's at 1:30 right now. Yeah. My bad. You're welcome, Craw. So I think that's a full-on analysis to get your money's worth. If Bitcoin takes down to 85K, I'm seeing 80 cents. Let me measure. Yes, 80 cents is like a clear target. In the exact moment Bitcoin is at 80 cents or 80K, this will be at 80 cents, like almost literally in the exact same second. That it'll be very close to that price target if we were to get a downturn and Bitcoin were to get rejected by its current slope line. So if you're catching the last of this, just realize the Bitcoin analysis portion of this stream is definitely the most important. There are huge consequences for having touched this blue line and then going above this line, which is charging up now. Like there are huge consequences for how you're playing crypto, and it's close to getting above this line, and it should make all-time highs easily. So just a heads up if you're catching in, like there's if you see Bitcoin above 100K, that means it's taken off because it will be above this line. One exception, if you see it at 100K before traditional finance news comes out, and then it comes out negative, and this was a baby trap, that's possible. If you see Bitcoin at 100K before the financial news tomorrow at 1 p.m. New York or something, that is one way that information, what I just said, could be wrong. Other than that, I don't see a way that could be bad information. So yeah, we are good to go. Put in my 13.5-hour day. I'm out of here. I'll see the private community VIPs and Discord. We'll see you tomorrow night. And then my exclusive tier, we'll see you on either Thursday or Friday. I have not decided yet. And I'll see you, the rest of you, later this week. You just got Typified Worldwide.